Have I woken you up again? Everyone's already left by now. It's just you here. I was making my way around, just making sure no one was still here. But I can't exactly be all too surprised that I found you here yet again. Yes, well, looks like you were very involved in your work. I mean, I know it's important to you. I mean, I understand you were quite involved in your work and everything. But I personally would rather not have to find you here every single time when we're wrapping up work for the day. And I understand that you're one that looks to get their things done as soon as possible, since you're not one to really waste time like that. But I think maybe something has to be done about this. And I don't mean like a punishment or anything, just maybe there's a better alternative to work on things, but not also running yourself into the ground with the intensity you put yourself through these things. Is that understood? And with how many people that I have to manage every single day, I really hate to see anyone that pushes himself to this extent. While I do appreciate all the effort you put in day to day, and even on what were supposed to be your off days, when you were one to step in when others couldn't be bothered to show up. But there has to be some sort of limit or even a boundary for yourself. Now, I know I can't exactly keep an eye on you all the time, but I'm willing to work with you here if say maybe an underlying issue could be that you're just being assigned too much work for what you can manage and handle reasonably. Well, being there where I am, I can't exactly be able to look over every single detail during every single day. And it's why I have other managers to help me with, assign me tasks, and well, you know how this works. But I want you to know that if there's an issue that you personally don't want to continue dealing with, then you can find me in my own office. Because I really wouldn't want you to feel feel intimidated of showing up whenever you please. Sure, I'm busy, but that's almost all the time. But when it comes to your general well-being, then I can always set aside a little extra time for you. With how I notice your situation is like, well, this is an offer I'm putting out for you exclusively. And of course, well, reasonably, I want to not only find ways to help you out with this, it's that you've consistently been one of my best every single time. So I would much heavily prefer to be able to keep you around for as long as you'd like, at least. And I wouldn't be very it wouldn't be very pleasant knowing that one of my best is just putting themselves through it and suffering way more than, well, suffering at any level, really, getting a bunch of their own work done. Because I know this isn't exactly the first time I've come up to you about this. So I just hope that you can bear with me in having to tell you all this again. And I can understand where you come from too, because I've dealt with plenty of other dedicated workaholics, and sadly many of those were rather destructive, and there really wasn't too much I could really do for them other than give suggestions and leave an open door for them. But ultimately, that's just more or less on their behalf to see if they want to act on it and take me up on that offer. As much as this saddens me to see, it's not the first either, and I really would like it to be the last. Because even outside of this, I would like for you to be able to have the energy to enjoy whatever it might be that you do on your daily life outside of this place. You know, as for me, well, I surely do feel anxious a lot of the time when I end up having to worry about my own employees, knowing that some of them even take their stuff home, when preferably I'd rather have it stay within the building. Right, because, well, your time off from work is supposed to be your resting time, or, well, you know, whatever it is you do outside of work. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I just don't want to see it happen again, because I've seen it end for like really badly. Just an undesirable result from a few that I still remember. And I would really like this place to be somewhere that people can at least not feel a sense of dread whenever they have to come in every day. Right? Because I mean, I was in that position before. It's not every day that you're fully into it, or you just want to stay home, or maybe something happens and maybe you feel embarrassed or ashamed to show up the following days. I've been there before, and I really want to be able to show everyone else that I'm not gonna be only expecting top results from, and I'm not gonna be only expecting top results while having everybody just work themselves down to the bone. That's the last thing I want, because I know that in the long term that would just kill efficiency. And I'm not exactly too fond with dealing with a concerning turnover rate either. I think that'll just make things easier just to keep the people I end up letting in. Yeah, maybe a little sidetracked. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you do considerable good work too. I've seen I've seen how your work is like, and then I've been around enough to see your habits here and there. You typically end up having 3 cups of coffee, and then on the 4th one, you don't even finish it. Like that one right there. And then before you even write anything down or type anything, you do a physical draft of it. Because I see how you look when you're fully focused. You resting your head on your left hand, while biting away at the tip of your pen. But I also see when those times when you're exhausted and it's like you're forcing yourself to keep your eyes open. And whenever I end up walking around and checking on everybody, and then at the end of the day to see if there's anyone left over, that I typically just end up finding you just within that same position, with having your arms crossed under your head always turned right, and you always look so comfortable. I suppose that's because your body finally taking that chance to rest. Until I step in, of course, and waken you up while tidying up the place a little bit. Okay. Now I just want you to look at me. Okay. I really don't know what it is you do at home. It takes a lot of restraint for me to just want to peep in whatever that routine of yours is. Or to understand what your routine is. I mean, those bags under your eyes are like, well, they're kinda cute, but I think you'd be much better off without those. Because then I think it'd be best for mostly yourself to give yourself a better appearance. Because I'm not the only one that's concerned with how your ethic is. Cause sure, you're like, you'd be like a number one guy for any place you decide to work at. It's just it's just that you're way more accustomed to putting others ahead of yourself before your own needs. Now, I don't mean to say that that's inherently a bad habit to work as hard and work as diligently as you do, but it's more of a, I suppose, an internal problem for you, or you have to be able to set your own boundaries. Right? You let it get out of hand and you're just gonna burn out and get incredibly fatigued. You know, who knows when that day will come when you're just out there and then you can't even stand upright anymore. And right, I tell you this because I've seen it happen before. Right, some were able to handle it better than others, but not everyone's built the same. It's just that level of stubbornness or tolerance. It's almost incredible to see, but I'd rather not see it be misplaced. You following with what I'm saying? Because I think that personally you do deserve a bit more better. But that's something that has to start with yourself. Because if not anyone, or not even myself, I can't be there to make sure you wash your face properly every day, whenever you get up, before you sleep, brush your teeth, fix up your hair. Well, if you know how to do that. But you see what I mean? There's a lot of things you can pick up and improve to elevate yourself. Right? To be able to decide at one point when to give yourself a moment to just slow down or just stop entirely. And just think about where you're at right now. Maybe you're feeling tired and you think, should I really keep pushing myself like this? Do I really need to get this done today, even if I have more than that one day to finish it? Because sometimes just doing things back to back, day by day, at a constant motion might not get you exactly the best results. Because I've also seen you redo your own things too, and that was because of sometimes you just finish something within a single night, when realistically it should have been handled something within 2 work days. Now I can't even fathom how you pull that off, but again, it's, you're like stretching your sanity there. I don't know how you haven't gone like crazy just handling things this way for yourself. Now that reminds me of another thing, and that is, I really gotta show you that you don't have to do everything on your own. Because it's fine to leave a bit of that work to someone else. Because that's why we have all these people here. Because unsurprisingly, your workload ends up being a lot more heavier than anyone else. Because you're able to crank out so many things and giving yourself more work to do. Although if there could be a problem with maybe the managers giving you too much to do, and if that's the case, then I'll deal with that, and don't worry about that. But anyway, with all this talk, I just want to see that you fully get what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm pretty sure you do. But again, I meant that part where come and see me whenever there's something that comes up, or a concern, or even just a thought. That's fine. I'm willing to work with you on anything. Step in my office whenever you feel okay. I'm not gonna bite you or anything. I'm right here in your space. I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking to have a talk and be able to express my own feelings about how have you been treating yourself. And then hopefully through this to also understand your side too. And I have a feeling that there's a lot more to touch on that we can't fully get through at the moment. But maybe through subsequent days, or whenever as you come to talk to me, then we can get this all figured out. And yeah, I know, fair enough, that this isn't exactly supposed to be my duty to have these one-on-ones with my employees, but part of me just I can't help it sometimes. And yeah, that means more of my own time being taken up, but at this point, this place is kinda, well, it's kinda my life. So, of course, well, I mean, whatever the boss says, we'll have to go. I mean, you don't have much to worry about. Because as the boss, I got your back. Now, as much as I do maybe like having these little chats, I really do really gotta stop meeting in this circumstance. Right? Because I'll be honest, there's a tinge of anxiety that I feel every single time when I get close to that door. And I see that someone is sitting right here, and then they have their head tucked in their arms. Yet again. And made me feel very relieved that knowing that I could step into this room, I'll checking things over real quick, and not have to find someone in here. well, it's a personal thing, but well, it's a personal thing with me that I want to be the very last one out of here. And well, instances like this, well, I haven't been able to keep true to that. Sure, there exist outliers where someone sticks around because they really have something to finish or wrap up, or you set themselves up for the following day. Sure. But not as many. But not as many times as having a quick snooze in here. And yeah, there's admittedly there is a lot that I have in mind that could to possibly help you out. But then that's something that had to be on you to let me help you out with that. Because maybe I wonder what if your schedule could be strained out a little bit. You know, in the chance that you end up being a rather spontaneous person and not plan out that far ahead. Well, I only say this since it's a behavior I picked up from prior workaholics that I brought up earlier. Surprisingly, they were very spontaneous people. Because I would end up being surprised that despite how needy and tidy they were in their own space, it was different from how their own daily life was. They get off work and they don't know what to do with themselves. And I wouldn't be too surprised if you fall under the same thing. So then maybe I just need to find. So then maybe I just need to help you find something to do. But I guess that you already have some kind of hobby, right? Something that you haven't done in a while. Or maybe it's something that you have considered but never acted on it. Maybe even just more sleep will be all you need. Even things about what you eat that makes you feel a certain way. There's a lot more factors that I'm aware of that. There's a lot more factors of which you might not be aware of yourself. Because I tell you that I've been through this before. I've been through it myself. And it was through figuring out certain ways to not only handle my work life, but also my everyday life just outside of work, that I'm able to find a sustainable balance in workflow to keep me from, doing what you are right now. Now the main difference is that I didn't really have anybody to really guide me through it. It was something that I just had to figure out after a pretty significant crash. So what I'm looking to achieve here is to be that kind of guide for somebody else that needs it. It's just a lot of time and effort to not have to completely figure it out on your own. But yeah, I guess I can tell you. I can tell you a bit more about what I know. Though most of it is really just experience. Yeah. I don't really drink that much coffee anymore. Especially not the super sweet stuff. It tastes really good and you feel good afterwards. But then later in the day you feel really, well, more like myself. I end up feeling really weird about it. Or really weird. Even the food as well. It's no surprise that the super tasty stuff that ends up making you feel a lot more. What would be the proper word? Make you feel a lot. Would make you feel quite lethargic. Try just to avoid the extremely dense foods. And then if you are eating that kind of thing, then look to eat much less of it. Although, yeah, I understand that it can be pretty disappointing with the smaller portions. But again, there'll be certain sacrifices to be understood when looking to straighten out your own life. Well, that's just how it is, right? Suffer now so that you can enjoy things later. I know, I don't really have a more romantic way to put it. But that's just all the reality of what I sat through. It's surely enough for you too. Even small little habits too. In your routine. Or like what to add to your routine when you first get up. And also whatever that routine might be before you end up sleeping late at night. Do these certain things that can give you a certain feeling of accomplishments and rather helpful for those little habits to be beneficial too along the way. Giving your face a little wash here and there wouldn't be so bad, right? Doing it every single day when you get up and before you rest. And to not eat too late during the night. Or whenever you're done finished eating, to not immediately sit there or lay down. But instead stand up and maybe walk around for a bit. But these are just a bunch of things that I've applied to myself over time, and it's been more than beneficial for me to adapt in a certain way. But these are certainly options that you can apply to yourself too. And through that, I can only hope that not only that you can feel better, not only within your normal life, but also feel better here while you're working and be able to be more efficient in handling yourself here and, well, not having to not have to tough it out all the time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, then let me know. If you feel like something else can be done, something that can be changed, something adjusted about your own schedule and everything, you know where to find me. I'm gonna I'm gonna end up putting it off there for now. It's really getting late, and the both of us should really be heading on home now. Yeah. Well, wouldn't you like to know what I do after work? Well, that can be something you can find out when we end up discussing what your day-to-day is like. Yeah, but yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's maybe a little bit of a surprise in general, but well, for this part, I don't mind repeating myself over it, but just, you're, well, with the time you spend here, I just think you're just too much of a sweetheart to just let yourself, just find yourself in the ground like that. So if I'm able to do something about it, then, well, I will. And I'm doing so right now. But you just gotta, I just hope that you are able to let me in a bit more so that I can help you. Oh, it's like it's like my past mentor had told me before that sometimes you have to give up a part of your world to be able to be a part of someone else's. I'm very sure this is something that'll take up my own time and effort to be able to see this through. And yeah, I've already accepted that. I already accepted that fact. But of course, none of it can be possible without your own will to allow me to help you out in this way. But yeah, that's really enough of that. I should really be getting out of here now. Right. Well, I mean, hey, I don't mind. I don't mind treating you somewhere to eat and continue discussing this a little bit longer, if you'd like. If not, that's fine. We can just continue this the next day. Yeah, it'll for sure take a while before significant change can be noticed. Because yeah, regretfully, I'll definitely still be seeing you sleeping at your desk a few times. But it's just taking those steps day by day, then we'll have a pretty good chance in making things better for you. Because there's more to there's more to work than doing this to yourself. I was like, well, there's more to living than doing this to yourself. Okay. You can go on now and wait for me. I still have a few things to check over and make sure we're ready for tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, nothing really special coming up, so just another day as usual. I don't expect to suddenly be swamped by something. If there was anything, then I'd probably be the one to let you know. Okay. Alright, well. Alright, well, I'll see you later.